The State Planning Commission has just released the latest version of the Community Engagement Charter. The Community Engagement Charter is about putting communities at the heart of planning and decision making in the planning system. Community Engagement Charter is about moving away from some of the prescriptive methods of engagement that we use now and creating an innovative environment where the local authorities can think about the types of engagement practices that best suit the particular circumstances. Central to the Community Engagement Charter are 5 key principles that must be taken into account when planning for community engagement. These principles include engagement is genuine. It's really important for communities that they understand their role in the engagement process, understand what can and can't be changed and how they can look forward to being involved in a genuine way. The second one is engagement is inclusive and respectful, and this is on both sides. But both parties will be open to a range of views and listen to the information that is provided to them and think about how they can shape the future. Engagement is fit for purpose is number 3. Making sure that the engagement process is targeted to the activity that's being undertaken. If it's a very complex issue that has significant stakeholders involved, then we must ensure that those people are involved from the beginning. Engagement is informed and transparent. So making sure that the outcomes of the engagement process are really clear to communities. Communities understand the information that was considered, how their views were considered, and what the decision was at the end and why. Last of all, engagement is reviewed and improved. It's important that we learn from the journey of engagement in an ongoing way. So at the end of each process, an evaluation of how that process went and how we can take the learnings of that going forward will be really critical in making sure that we have a successful engagement process in the longer term. The Community Engagement Charter is very important in bringing communities into early thinking about how areas will grow and change over time. It's also important in how we write our planning rules that make it clear about what types of development activities should happen in what areas. Where the Community Engagement Charter doesn't apply is when people lodge individual development applications. By this stage, the planning rules have been made clear and are set within the Planning and Design Code. The statutory process is about how you engage with communities on development applications is clearly defined in the new Planning, Development and Infrastructure Act. So in this case, it does move towards a more prescriptive model of engagement, and it's very clear about what actions need to be taken in regards to community engagement in this forum. The State Planning Commission has worked up the Community Engagement Charter with a whole range of interested people, including a Planning Together panel. The Planning Together panel was a range of 50 community members who were interested in planning and were keen to shape the way the Community Engagement Charter might affect us going into the future. That panel worked with 70 stakeholders who also had an interest in the way the planning system works. Those people worked together over 2 weekends to come up with some key principles that would drive the way that community engagement would happen into the future. Over that weekend, the Planning Together panel learnt about the planning system and the stakeholders learnt about what the community's view were on how the planning system shaped them. So at the end of that process, the State Planning Commission looked at the feedback and released the first version of the Community Engagement Charter for public consultation. That charter was released for 6 weeks of consultation and submissions were received from a whole range of interested people, including local government, community representatives, as well as some industry representation. At the end of that, the Commission looked at all the feedback and realised that there were some opportunities to enhance the Community Engagement Charter further. That work has now been undertaken and a new charter has been released for more formal statutory consultation now.